let me just start the recording because, as it says at the top, this webinar will be recorded and made available afterwards. I'll send a copy of the embed code to Jasper as well, as our speaker tonight. I'm sure it'll appear on his blog. But tonight's subject is collaboration with external partners in SharePoint Online 2013 with Jasper Oosterveld. How did I do there, Jasper?
Pretty well.
Okay, thank you.
My compliments.
So, just very quickly, just say a bit about Metaviz. They've been kind enough to let us use their facilities. So I'd recommend you check it out. So as it says there, they've been powerful, easy to use, easy to install. And as I always say, there's no install because it's agentless, or apart from one product they do. Software for SharePoint 2013, 2010, 2007, 2003. They specialize around migration and information architecture as well. So I would highly recommend you check their products out. A little bit about me. April the 1st I was renewed as an MVP. That's my 3rd year now, so all good. I must be doing something right. So it says there, that's my new funky intro slide, which I like a lot, Metro styly. SharePoint Server MVP. If you want to get hold of me on Twitter, it's at DaveCon146. I'm a SharePoint consultant. There's a horrible picture of me. There's a picture there of Bournemouth, where I live in the UK. That was a very nice day. It hasn't been like that for months and months. Feels like years. You can connect me on Facebook, LinkedIn, my blog's down the bottom, and my email address as well. So please, I always like to talk. You ask anyone that knows me. So please contact me, and then we'll have a chat. So without further ado, we'll pass over to Jasper, the star turn. So I'll just make him presenter. So Jasper, you should now be presenter. If you'd like to share your screen, that's cool. I'm seeing that. And we will be answering questions at the end as well. So keep your questions coming in, and then we'll get around to it at the end. So over to you, Jasper. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Dave. Well, good evening, everybody, or at least for us it's evening. Maybe for you it's afternoon, even in the morning. This is my first webinar, so I'm pretty excited. Thanks, Dave, for giving me the opportunity to do this. Tonight I'm going to talk about external collaboration with SharePoint Online 2013. SharePoint Online is really one of my favorite platforms. I'm a big fan of Office 365, and you can see the online version is getting stronger and stronger per every release. And for this webinar, I'm going to talk about a specific scenario, and that's external collaboration. So let's start. Let's take a look at the agenda for tonight. First, I'm going to do a short introduction about myself. Then I will go a little bit more in depth about the new site template that got released with the 2013 release, the project site. Then I will take a little bit step back and talk about a little bit of configuration points we need to think about. And of course, we cannot forget the whole governance aspect. And then we do a demo. I think I talk probably around 15 minutes, do some slides, and then the rest of the session will be a demo. And as Dave mentioned before, we'll just save the questions for the end. Okay. Well, for the people who don't know me, my name is indeed Jasper Oosterveld. You can call it Easterfield in English, so I'm a little bit more fancy. I live in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I work as a SharePoint consultant for a Dutch IT company called Wortel. In my role as SharePoint consultant, I support customers implementing SharePoint. So I do the workshops, out-of-the-box configuration, adoption, governance. So yeah, I'll just support them to try to make the SharePoint implementation a big success. I've been doing that for 3 years now. No longer, sorry, 5 years actually. I was the co-author of a book, the SharePoint 2010 Handbook. I think I released a little bit more over a year ago. And currently we're working on the follow-up for this one. I wrote a couple of more chapters, and yeah, I'm hoping the book will be released within 2 months. But it's pretty tricky to do a book project. The deadlines keep moving up and up. But I'm confident it will be out probably within 2 months. So just keep an eye out for my blog about any news about this. I recently co-founded the SharePoint Business User Group in the Netherlands. We're now just still on Jammer. And we really aimed at, well, what the name says, at the business user. So we talk about topics like document management or governance, user adoption. So that's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of demand for this. I'm also the co-founder of a Dutch site called SPCNL. You can kind of compare it with nothing but SharePoint, but then the Dutch version. So we also have SharePoint articles about branding or development or business or end user topics. I also have a blog. It's called Microsoft What Else, but I mainly write about SharePoint. But I do like to write about sometimes about some other Microsoft products, so that's why I changed the name. And last but not least, I'm also at Twitter, so you're free to follow me. It would be fun. The slides will be up later as well, so you can look at this later as well. Let's start. The project site, I mentioned before, this is a new site template with the SharePoint 2013 release. There's a couple of new features. First one is the timeline. I think this is a pretty cool feature that kind of extends the task list we already had before. And it gives a really nice, flexible overview of all the related project tasks. Then we have another new feature, that's the side mailbox. Also a big fan of this one. This is actually a central mailbox for every project site. As it said, it's a central site for mailbox for your project site, so you can send emails to it to gather all important project emails, and people also have the option to send mails from this mailbox. And there's also connection with Outlook, and I'll also show this in the demo later on. Now then we have OneNote. I hope everybody knows what OneNote is. It's a great application to keep notes about meetings or about projects or maybe some community things you're doing. And now every project site has an integrated notebook where you can just write down all the notes from meetings, and you also have a connection with the local application. Now then we have the newsfeed. Well, this is a bit tricky nowadays because I think most people have heard about Jammer, and the whole SharePoint 2013 social features, the out-of-the-box ones, I don't really know what's going to happen. I have the feeling Jammer is going to be the replacement for this. So if you have any questions about it, please ask me in the end. I hope I can answer them. But I do kind of show the newsfeed option because every project site has one. And there's also an integration with the central newsfeed, but to be honest, I don't know how this is exactly going to work when Jammer is fully integrated. Then we have document libraries. Well, this is a feature that's been around for a long time, but it now got extended with drag and drop. And one of my favorite new features actually is that you can edit, manage metadata columns in the datasheet view that's now called the quick edit. And this isn't possible in 2010, so this is a pretty good improvement. Well, the last one, of course, external sharing. This is an out-of-the-box feature with SharePoint Online. And as it says, you have the option to share your site with people outside of your organization without the need to assign them a license. Well, let's take a step back. Well, the configuration aspect, we need to decide, are we going to use one site collection for all our projects, or are we going to create a site collection per project? Well, then there's also the managed path issue. And last but not least, you need to enable external sharing. So let's take a look at these. Well, as I said before, you need to make a decision. Am I going to use one site collection for all my projects? Or am I going to create a site collection per project? And this is important because if you do create one site collection and you create a sub-site for every project, you kind of have like a security issue on hand. Because let's say a site owner adds a guest external user in a wrong SharePoint group. This customer can see maybe privacy-sensitive data from other projects. So this is something you want to, you don't want that to happen. But to make this decision, there are some limitations within Office 365 and the subscription you have. For example, the small business one only allows one site collection with 2,000 subsites. Then we have the mid-sized business. It only has 20 site collections, so it's a bit more, and then 2,000 subsites per site collection. Well, 20 is not that much if you're a project-based organization. So then we have the law subscription. It's the enterprise, education, and government. And there you have a lot more site collections. You can actually make 3,000 and again to 2,000 subsites per site collection limit. So this is something you do need to think about when you embrace this scenario or want to use it within your own organization. Managed path, well, you see it in the screenshot that is commonly used. when creating a site, you can say, okay, here it's called cloudinfo.sharepoint.com, and ideally in a project scenario, you want to have it says projects instead of sites or teams. But within Office 365 and SharePoint Online, you don't have the option to add new managed paths. This is because of the whole tenant, because Office 365 is a tenant, you're sharing it with other customers. So at this point, you're not allowed to create additional managed paths. And then you do have to enable the option to share your site collection with external users, and you have two options. The first one, you say, okay, you can send invitations, and the second one is that you can also enable anonymous guest links, and this means that you can send, you can create for example, you get a document, a project proposal, and you enable the anonymous guest link, and you can send this link to any person who has an internet connection, and he or she can access the document. Only the Office 365 administrator is able to change this setting from within the Office 365 Administration Center, and if you go to the SharePoint Online part, you have all your site collections, and the person with access there can enable or disable this per site collection. And by default, it's disabled. So you don't have to worry, it's enabled, and everybody starts inviting external users without you even knowing about it. Well, then there is a limitation on the amount of external users. With a small business, you can invite 500 people. It's quite a lot. And it gets even better, because if you have the mid-sized business or the last one, the enterprise, education, and government, you can invite 10,000 users. This is great. This is a lot. I have no idea why the number is so high, but I think it's actually a cool thing. It's pretty nice. Microsoft, they provide you with this, this feature and this high amount of people you can invite. Well, with any great feature, there are always some limitations. But let's take a look. I call it an unlicensed user because that's what you actually do, because you send an invitation, but you don't assign, for example, a SharePoint Online license, and this means that this person won't have a My Site. And you're also not able to assign other Office 365 services, for example, Exchange or Link. The first two I don't really mind that much, but the third one I think is kind of a shame, because the site mailbox is such a great asset. And I can imagine there are scenarios where you want your external user to be able to actually see the site mailbox. Well, at this point, you can't. The user can see it, he or she can click on it, but then they will get an error message to say you're not allowed to use the site mailbox. So I do hope that in the future Microsoft will fix this issue, because I think a lot of customers would want their external partners to at least view a site mailbox. Well, then we also have the governance aspects, also pretty important. There are four things you kind of need to think about. Well, the first one I already mentioned before. You have to decide, are you going to create sites for your project or site collections? And this is all has to do with the security risk, because it can always happen that a new site owner, new to SharePoint, doesn't really know how the whole permission structure works, and by accident gives the wrong external user permissions to a project site. Well, then we have document management. Again, if somebody is not really well known with SharePoint and have been using file shares for many years, they're going to create folders. Well, maybe you want to use manage metadata, or you want to use the group by function, use more views and the really native SharePoint features. So this is something you really need to think about. Am I just going to let my users do whatever they want, or do I want to set some rules for this? Then we have the external users and permissions. Only site owners are able to invite external users. This is actually a good thing, I think, because there are mostly every site will have not more than 2 site users often. So at least you know the people who are able to do this and can train them directly. But it is important you train them. So they really need to know how to work with the SharePoint permission structure. And the last one we have, maybe your company has its own design, its own look and feel. Well, with a project site, you do have the option to change the look and feel. Personally, I don't think it's really, I don't mind if people maybe give it a different color or logo, but if your company does mind, you need to consider this and set some ground rules so people don't start to create their own look and feel for every project site. Well, not too bad actually. I'm looking at 12 minutes. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start with the demo. Actually tried it an hour ago, so everything seemed to work apart from one thing, so let's hope it stays like that. So I'm going to end the presentation, and we'll go to Internet Explorer. What you will see here, this is the new project site template. I already created some tasks just to be sure everything works well. And what you immediately, well, before I dive into the whole timeline feature, I'm first going to show you the share feature because this is a new project site and I want to share it with two coworkers of mine. Here on the top right corner you have the share button. I click at it and now I can start typing, and I really like this new people picker. It's a lot easier to use than the previous one, so I can just start typing names, Peter, and I select these two people and I say, hi, you are now able to access the project site. And if I click at show options, I can select a SharePoint group. So for this, I'll just stick to the members group because I want them to have contribute permissions. Click on share, and you see the notification on the top right corner, and Amy and Peter will receive an email that says, well, you've now been invited to the Fabricam extranet portal site, and they can start participating in the project. Well, if I go down here, every new project site has these tiles, this whole kind of metro look and feel, and you have a couple options. The first one is what I just did. You could share the site. Well, this creates a task, an agenda, and the whole timeline, but we already have that, so this is not going to work for now. I think everybody by now knows everything is called an app, so what you used to know is a list of libraries, now an app. So if I click on this, I can create, for example, maybe an announcement list. Oh, this is the where you can change the look and feel. I'll click on that in a second. And here you can change the name of the site, and this activates the site mailbox. So let's say you allow your users to create a unique look and feel for the project site. They can click on here. It's working on it, and here you see a selection of themes. Well, there are a lot of hideous ones, but some of them are also like not too bad actually. So if I see this one, the green one, I can click on here. I can drop an image here for the background. I can change the colors if I want. This is pretty ugly, so let's stick to maybe this one. You can change the site layout, limited options. So you see this is pretty basic. And what you can do, you can click on try it out and you see a preview on the site. And then you can decide, okay, I want to keep this or I don't. So for now, I'll just stick to the one we already had and click on here. And what you can do now, you can click on the link that says remove this, and you see the tiles are now gone. You can activate it from any moment because it says here you can just go to the settings menu, and I believe this is a feature you can reactivate and it will put back the tiles where they were before. Okay, well let's take a look at the timeline feature. This is a new feature with SharePoint 2013. What I really like about it, it gives a nice overview of all your project tasks. So if I click on one, you see you get a call-out menu, gives a little bit more details about the task. For example, I can remove this from the timeline if I want. And up here, let me close this one. Up here you have a couple of options. You can say I want to display this as a bar. So if I click on that, you can see it's now not a call-out anymore, but it's now more in here. And if I click on it, I see some more details. Well, how do I, this is also pretty cool actually. I can just drag this to another location if I want to. So you're kind of in charge the way it's presented. So let's say I want to add a new task. Oh, I click on here. And for example, I call it interview HR department. And the start date is tomorrow. And the due date is always great when this happens. Let me see. Yeah. Brilliant. Let me cancel for a moment and try it one more time. Interview HR department. Okay, select today. Right, now works. And due date is Saturday. And here I can assign it, and I have the same people picker, so it's easy to use. And I click on save. And now I don't see my, oh yeah, of course, here we go. What happens now, it doesn't show it automatically in the timeline, so if I go to tasks, I can see it here. So if I click on the callout menu, I have the option add to timeline. and here it is. So I can click on it, and now I can say display as call out, and I can move it around so it's not in the way of this, and it's still kind of a nice way to present your tasks. What is also a really cool option is the integration with Microsoft Project, because a lot of project leaders are probably using that software for a long time. So you can click on here. I'm not going to do it because I tried it before and it's not too fast, to be honest. But if you click on it, Microsoft Project will open. You will see the task you see here, and you can add some more details to it, create some new task, assign it to people, and synchronize it again with SharePoint. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. Let's continue. Click on Home. And now I also have the notebook option. This is a project site, but this feature is also available within team sites. So if I click on here, it starts the OneNote web app, and I already created a page beforehand. And let's say we had a workshop and want to add my notes here. I can click on here, and then it's phase 1. And now I create a new page. Say workshop notes. And now I can say add text here. So now I can start working here, and also my other project members can start adding the notes. And what's pretty cool is you have this open in OneNote button here. So I say yes, I allow. And you'll see that it really fast immediately opens up in your local OneNote application. And the cool thing about this is that you don't need to go to the project site. You can just open OneNote and start creating notes or viewing your notes. So that's a pretty cool feature. So let me close OneNote for now and continue to the next one. I go to Documents. Well, here I already have one document here, but now I really like this feature if you have the Office web apps enabled. So in Online, if you acquire that license, well, I think nowadays it is actually, if you have the E1, it's immediately there, so you don't have to pay additional money for it. So you should be able to use it. You can create a new Office document, and of course this was possible within 2010. But by default you have to choose one template. So you chose a PowerPoint presentation or Excel or Word document, and to add more options there you have to create additional content types, and not really user friendly, and you always need like a power user or a site owner for it. But now it comes out of the box. So I can say I want to create a new Word document, and it's going to ask me how I want to name the document. So I'm going to call it SharePoint 2013 Project Advice. Click on OK. And now immediately the Word web app is opened, and I can start typing text. I can use this little trick, and you see it adds some dummy text here. And I can also add a picture. I kind of like this new feature actually. It's called clip art. And for example, say business woman. You can just insert a name, select this picture, click insert, and you can add a picture. Now, as you see, it's really easy to use. Don't forget to save, and then I can go back to the site. Well, I think people have seen this before. You do have the drag and drop option, so I don't want to. I think it's not really new anymore. I think most people at this point are already fed up with it. But I still do think it's quite a cool option. There's a limitation though. I don't know them all out of my head, but if you go to my blog, I summed it up because there are some limitations with this feature. Well, you see here there is a column called tags, and in 2010 this is really a pain to add. You weren't really able to use Datasheet View to add manage metadata, and this made it really tricky. You have to create some workarounds for it. But now you can go to Library and click on Quick Edit, and you see you have a new option here. So what I can do, I can click on here and I can say add these terms to all selected fields. So I can click on this icon, and let me just select one. It's just for a demo, and I click on OK. So now it adds contract here, but I can also just start typing, and it gives you the suggestions. And I think this is also possible. Yeah, drag and drop. So if you use an Excel, I think copy paste. So this is really easy to use, and this is so awesome because now you can just upload so many documents and really fast assign the correct text to it. So now I can click on View again, and you see I'm done. So this is a really cool and powerful feature. Let's click on the home page. Well, I do want to take a look at the newsfeed because I still think it is a pretty cool feature. So now I can start typing here. I can say, welcome to our project site. Click on Post. And what is pretty cool is if I right-click on a document and I say Copy Shortcut and I paste it in the newsfeed, you get a preview. So what I can, the URL is fine, and then I remove Display As, and I can say our customers, and I click on this icon and click on Post. What you see here now, you get a preview of the document. This is awesome. I think especially, if you just want to emphasize a certain type of document, you just kind of copy it here. Unfortunately, it's not too fast, but normally it should do what you have here as well. And it should create, well, it's going pretty slow, but it should create a preview of the document. You can, oh, here we go, cool. So now I can double click on it to zoom in or zoom out. So you're in charge of this, and you can just go through the document. You have the option to download a copy or print a PDF or create an embedded code so you can show this document at other locations. So I think this is a pretty cool feature. Well, let's continue. Let's continue to the side mailbox. If I click on here, it will open up. The first time we do this, it takes some time. I think it takes a couple of minutes to create. I already did it before, so I hope the environment speeds up a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So this, when you create one, you get you already have one email, and it mentions the email address here. It's not too easy, unfortunately, but it's pretty cool. I can send an email from here, so let me click on here. Yeah, and now let me send one to my own email address from work. I say test, this is a test, and I click on send. So now the email is sent, so every user with access to this site is able to send emails from within the side mailbox. But what's pretty cool is there's also, the side mailbox is also integrated within your Outlook. So if I go here, I have my demo environment account here. So what's pretty cool, I can also see the documents. So, oh sorry, this is my inbox. If I go a little bit down, here you have a view of the teams of the project site. So if I click on documents, unfortunately I don't see anything here yet. Let me do send and receive all groups. It takes some time sometimes, but this is the document that was already there. It still needs to synchronize, so I'm hoping they show up soon. But what's pretty cool, I can also, oh, here's the email just sent. I click on it, and you see this is from my own email account. So that's what happens. So I'm now logged in as Jasper, and I send an email from the side mailbox, and it has that account. If Amy does it, I will see Amy's email address. So let me delete this one. What I can do, I can also drag and drop documents in here. So let me try that. Yeah, and now you see it's grayed out, so that means it's still synchronizing. So this takes some time to also show up in the team site, project site. What is unfortunately is you missed the custom metadata options here. That's something that's not present at the moment. I really hope Microsoft fixes that issue. Oh, here, cool. Here we go. Oh, it's failed to upload. It's too bad. But at least here we see the documents I've already added. Let me try to add a new one though. Let me check. Sorry about this. Let me add this document. Yeah, cool. Well, let's hope this works. So here I'm missing the tags column, and this is still missing this feature. I know there is some third-party software out there who helps you with this. I do hope Microsoft solves this problem, because what happens now, if I do this one and this one is synchronized, it won't have a tag. So yeah, I do hope they fix that feature. Another cool feature is if I go to my email here and I click on new email and I go to, let me see, documents. I can drag these here. Let's do it like this. Yeah, pretty cool. So now what it does, it shows the name of the document and a link to it. And now I can just send it to any person I want, and if they have permissions to the site, they can click on it and open the document. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. Okay, well, I think we kind of covered the basics now from the project side. So the last part I want to show you, let me go back to the site. That's the external sharing. So let's say, for example, I want to share this document with our external partners. I click on the call-out menu, and I click on Share. And now I can start typing. Well, I have a demo account that's called Paul Peters. It has a Gmail account. And this is also new because in the 2010 version, you were only able to use external invitations, but only with live IDs. And now Microsoft enables you can use any email account you want. For example, Gmail or Yahoo, or maybe an email address from your own business. You only need to register it once. In the PowerPoint slide, I added some resources that point out to a site that has the URL to the registration page. The user only has to do it once. It takes maybe a minute. Just enter some basic details, and then your account, for example, Gmail, is registered with live ID of Outlook.com, it's called nowadays, and the person can just use that account to log in. So that's pretty cool. So first I want to demo the anonymous link. So what you need to do if you want to create an anonymous link, you need to untick this box. And I can say, hi Paul, you are now able to view the proposal, and click on share. Okay, well, let's get a little notification here. So let's go to my Gmail. Cool, goes pretty fast. Click on here. So now I'm Paul, and I received this invitation. So if I click on here, if I click on this, it says use the guest link. So now it opens up. So now I see the document. But let's say I do, sorry, this is in Dutch, but I copy the shortcut. And let me open up a private navigation mode and do Control-V. I can see now, because this is the document now is an anonymous link, any person with that link can open up the document. So that's pretty cool. If I go now back to the site and open up here, you now have a new line of text here that says open to anyone with the guest link. So if I click on this text, you will actually see the URL. You can disable this anonymous link at any moment by clicking on the cross, and I say, yeah, I want to disable the link, and I click on close. And if I go back now to the call-out menu, you see the anonymous link is now disabled. Now, well, let's say I want to share this document with Paul Peters, and then I'm not going to make an anonymous link, so I'm saying he's required to sign in. So typing in his name, Paul Peters. Hi, Paul. Hereby you have access to the document. And I do show options, and I say, okay, it sticks, send email invitation, click on share, and hopefully this goes pretty fast as well. It's been doing pretty well. Yeah, here we go. So I click on here, and now I also see the text is missing, so you can also see it's not it doesn't have a guest link. So if I click on here, I hope this works. Yeah. So now I'm able to even edit this empty workbook in the browser. I can also go back to the portal because I got access to the document library. Now, let's say I'm Paul Peters, and I'm like, okay, I'm working this project, and I want to see the whole project site. I also want to see the tasks that are assigned, maybe leave a message in the news feed, even take a look at the meeting notes. That should be possible. So what I do now, and unfortunately this is not going to work. If it will work, I'm going to be surprised. Yeah, here we go. What normally happens is that I'm able to ask for, I can do an access request. What I will do now, I will go back to the presentation. I will show you the screenshots and talk a little bit more about it, because for some reason this hasn't been working the last couple of days. So I'm thinking this is just a temporary issue. So let me show you in the presentation. if I go to the next slide, this is the screenshot you should see. So it says, well, you don't have access to the site, but you can ask for access. So I can type a message here. You can see that below. Paul said, hi, I would like to view other project documents. And then I click on send. And what happens then, go to the next one, there is a page that's called access request, and that the request from Paul Peters will be shown there. And the site owners will also receive emails saying, oh, Paul Peters is asking for requests to the site. And this is kind of cool, because what I can do now, I can start a conversation. So instead of just immediately approving the request, I can say, okay, Paul, why do you need access? Well, then Paul refreshes the page. He also sees replies. So you have a little bit of dialogue going on. Well, then you decide, okay, I'm going to approve or decline his request. Under permissions, you can select the SharePoint group, and you click on approve, and immediately Paul has access to the site. So this is kind of the whole external collaboration scenario. I'm a big fan. I see a lot of possibilities for it. I hope this is going to be used a lot in the field out there. So what I did added some resources here. So this PowerPoint slide is going to be shared. So yeah, I hope you're able to click on here. If you're not, I will just create some tiny URLs. Yeah, Dave?
Yeah, no, they can't click.
Okay.
I mean, if you upload it to SlideShare, if you want to do that, obviously they can do that. Or if you well, I've actually got the slide deck, haven't I?
Yeah, you have access.
I think I have.
I can create tiny URLs and then.
Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That was really great, and I had no idea some of that stuff could be done.
Yeah.
I had no idea men could build such things. That was amazing. But we do have a long list of questions.
Oh, okay, good. Let's start with the questions.
Okay. Let's start with a positive. This is going good, Jasper. Presented well, and content is useful. So there you go. So
thank you.
That's all right. Can you drag and drop emails? I don't know. I'm not trying. So I'm assuming what they're asking is if you have your SharePoint site open and you have Outlook open, can you drag an email from Outlook into SharePoint?
Yeah, you are. Let me give it a go.
Yeah. Careful we put.
Yeah.
Just get the spam ones. Just get the spam
ones. Let me see documents. Yeah, you're able to do this. I've tried it before.
I understand the problem.
Yeah, I don't want to. Otherwise, all my private emails are up there. But you are able to. Yeah. Oh, maybe you can try this one. This is the. Let me try. Yeah, documents. Yeah, here we go. So you see this is the email I just dragged here. So let me click send and receive. It's not that fast, but
no.
Here it is. It's cool. That is nice.
Yeah, it got faster as it warmed up. I noticed that.
Yeah.
It was really strange how Gmail was actually quicker than your internal email. Well, that was cool.
I know.
maybe that says stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a great feature, but the only thing is missing it's the ability to assign the custom metadata.
Yeah. No, I can see that, but yeah, I'm not sure how they'll get there with that one because you're going to have some sort of form pop up to put the metadata in. So yeah, maybe SharePoint 2016 or 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know how many tags you can add to how many tags you can add to a document? Well, as far as I knew, it was as many as you liked.
Yeah, that's an option. You can say if you want to use multiple values or not. And if you do multiple values, you can assign as many tags as you want.
Yeah, that was from Richard. The one thing I would say, Richard, is don't do too many, and don't make them compulsory because people just won't fill them in, and then they don't use SharePoint. So, okay, let's go to the top and work our way down. That's a great one. What products, services do you, Jasper, like using for migrating content to SharePoint? Seriously, that's a question.
Yeah. well, I'm now going to offend any of the 5 big ones probably, but I'm personally a big fan of ShareGate.
Okay.
Because it's a great tool for power users as well. It's really easy to. I should have said Metaphys probably, right? Because
no, I'll do that in a minute.
you'll do it.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, you should. Yeah, I would advise to take a look at ShareGate. It's a really easy tool to use, and personally, that's one of my favorites to use.
Okay, and for me, I've been using Metaphys for 2 years, so I would say Metaphys. It's drag and drop interface, lovely Metro styled. No agent installs, works with 365 as well as 2003, 2007, 2010, 2013. Need I go on?
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar actually. The software.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar. I think they both. Metaphys also installs on the desktop, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah,
yeah,
and
exactly.
It's great for power users as well. That's actually one of the things that you find as the sales side of it goes. That they do tend to sell more licenses than people start out with because they put it on people's desktops, and then people can drag and drop and apply metadata, etc. So, but try it. See, try the two. Or there was a head-to-head that Mark Miller did. So if you look on Nothing But SharePoint for Cage Match, you'll find a recording of all the sessions. So that's another way to be totally unfair. To be totally fair. Another one. How well have you found external sharing to work? Look good to me, but over to you.
Well, yeah, I've shown the 3 limitations. Well, yeah, they don't have on my side. I don't think that's a big problem. Yeah, you can assign any other licenses. I think the main one that's kind of a shame is that you don't have access to the side mailbox. And apart from that, they do have all the same features relatable to the permissions they get. So if you assign them contribute permissions, they can do all the things a normal user would be able to do, and same with full control. Yeah, so I think apart from the side mailbox, it works pretty well.
I think like many people, I've never understood licensing. Not really. I don't think anyone does. Even the people that write the licenses, I don't think they understand it either. But for me, I mean, that just seems awesome because you can just invite any of your external partners. So if you're effectively got an extranet and you want to give access to, I don't know, a third-party company you're working with, they don't need a license, which is just a bit odd.
Yeah. Well, just really think about just train your people who are allowed to assign those, who are allowed to invite external users, and think about, am I going to use a site collection or a site? Because you always have that little bit of risk with permissions.
Sure. Yeah. Another good question. This is all from the same person, Darryl Webster as well. So great questions, Darryl. Is there a limit how many people you can have as guests on a site, a document, or the life of the guest link? Now that's a good question.
Well, the guest, as far as I know, the guest link is there so long you keep it open. And yeah, I showed you can disable it. So I think so long nobody does that, it's always going to be available. And the limit is 10,000. So yeah, I think that's. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm assuming you can invite like 10,000 people into one site collection.
Wow.
I haven't seen it in the real world, but.
Wow, it'd be good to see. And a follow-on question, actually, meaning how many people can simultaneously access the guest link? I guess 10,000.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, no, probably as many as possible. I don't know. I think until the SharePoint servers are at the maximum resources, but I don't know of any numbers about that.
No, I think we'd be surprised, and I think that'll eventually pop up. It's like a lot of things, 100 gig limit on your databases. Oh no, make it 200. Oh no, make it a terabyte. No, make it 14. It moves. I mean, it's like a movable feast. To be honest, until people start using this stuff, a lot of those questions can't be answered because actually no one actually knows the answers to the question.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also just been released, so I don't. Yeah. Well, if somebody has seen this already, I would love to hear about it, but I haven't.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear about it as well. What version of Microsoft Project does SharePoint 2013 interface with? Do you know?
I'm assuming the latest one. I think it's also 2013.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not sure. Not sure if you're able to open it with maybe the 2010 version. I don't have that software, so I haven't tried it. But
Yeah.
often with these new features, it is only yeah, as you said, accessible with the latest software. But
Yeah.
I haven't tried it.
Okay. Kara, I noticed that one of your project tasks was indented under another. Is that a new feature?
Yeah, it is. Let me go to it. Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Because I think here you have the option to create a subtask. And then you already see it's doing the black arrow. Let's pick a date. Pick myself. And stop. Yeah, so you now have the option to, I think this used to be like a Microsoft project feature, but you now have the option to do this in the browser as well.
Yeah, well, you've now got Project Online as well, haven't you? I've not tried it, but I'm assuming they've just taken parts of that and put it to this. Okay. Also, this is Kara again, is Quick Edit View on Lists and Libraries available on Firefox? In SharePoint 2010, this wasn't available as datasheet view. Well, I can guarantee you Chrome work because I use Chrome a lot. I've only just started using Firefox, and I've not tried the new list view. So, do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Unless you've got Firefox, I assume.
Yeah, I already have one open just to be sure.
Yeah.
This is the other one. Let me see. Close it.
I do think the Quick Edit's great.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it doesn't work.
No. Well, it works in Chrome. So I'd be amazed if it didn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
there
Yeah,
you go.
Microsoft has done very well. Like all the native browsers.
Yeah, so all we've got to do is try Safari and we can tick all those off.
I don't have that one.
No, nor do I, funny enough. And also all those weird things when you get the browser choice. Some of those browsers I never heard of. Someone asked, where can we view the recorded session later? There'll be a copy on my blog. I assume Jasper will have a copy of it as well.
Yeah,
On his
correct.
as well. So they'll be around, and I'll get that up as quickly as I can. Okay, we've got to go back to external and Daryl. Please clarify external invite can be sent to any email address, but the receiver has to create a Microsoft account, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. What happens is, let's say I have a Yahoo account. I'm peter@yahoo.com. I get that email invitation, but before I can access it, that user actually needs to know the URL where he or she can connect their Yahoo account with, I think it's called Outlook.com nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mention it in the email. So the user will be able, like, well, I get this link from you, but I cannot log in. So they need to go to a site from Microsoft. It's like a form they have to fill in. So they fill in their first name, last name, and then they give up their address. So they say, I'm peter@yahoo.com, and they sign in. And what happens is that Yahoo, you can actually log in at outlook.com with peter@yahoo.com with a password you created, and you actually see an outlook.com inbox. So it just gets connected to Microsoft, and then you're able to log into the portal itself.
Okay,
this is an instruction you need to give to those people, because I don't believe it says it in the email invitation.
It probably doesn't, but
no.
That's good.
Well, that is clear.
Daryl, again, take care when sharing the OneNote notebook with external users. As Jasper said, it gives the user access to the document library too. The default site notebook appears to be located in the site access library, so external users may get access to this library.
Yeah.
Good advice. Excellent demos. That was as well. I agree.
Thank you. Nice one.
If I share a file with an external party, can they share it with still more people? I was going to ask that one. So can I just send the link on?
yeah, if it's an anonymous link, they can.
Mm.
If you tick that box to require to sign in, they
Yeah.
can't.
Right. Okay. But it's an interesting point. You know, you might get your 10,000 people that way.
Yeah, yeah, then it go fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
I
uh,
think I saw a blog from Mark Cashman, and I think he with his top 10 favorite SharePoint Online features, and then he has one anonymous link to a document, so maybe he knows what to do for
yeah,
some.
possibly. Uh, what was the number of external users you can allow for small business? Was that found?
Yeah,
Well, I'll see if I was
not.
paying attention. Hang on.
Let me see.
Ooh, where was it? Wasn't it
Uh,
2,000? 2,000. No, that's site collection, sorry.
yeah, so
500.
yeah, this is it.
Okay, so 500 for small business, mid-side 10,000, and enterprise education government 10,000, which is an odd number, I agree. 10,000 for 500 is just very strange, but I guess someone thought that was a good idea.
I know. It's such a big leap.
Yeah, it is. Can you see a list of documents by external permissions granted? Oh, that's a good question.
What does it mean exactly?
Can you see, well, you know the permissions groups?
Yeah.
I think this is what they mean. Is it almost, you can almost see like the Yahoo email addresses you've actually shared?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can show that. Let me see. I believe we did it for, let me take a look. Site permissions. No, I think we did it with the document, so let me go to it. I think it was this one. So I'll do shared with. Yeah, no, I don't remember which one it was. Terrible. Let me see the. Let me see. It was the employee inventory. This one. So now I go here, share it with Paul Peters. So if I click on advanced.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I can click on it actually, and it does look there from my side, but they don't. So here, you can. It's really strange. You can follow him, but he doesn't have a site. It's pretty weird. But this is how you see them at least in the site collection. What I can do, I can just probably not a good idea, but I can just I can tick them and delete them.
Right. Okay. How can I keep track of what has been shared with whom? Good question. Spreadsheet?
So there's not
a list?
Yeah. Well, well, this has always been kind of an issue within SharePoint. Well, if you go to a document, you can see who it's shared with pretty easily. But I don't think there's one central place where you can get like one overview of all the external users and what permissions do they have. I think that's also one of the downsides of this scenario.
Yeah.
You don't really have one clear overview.
Okay. Can I drag and drop into a list?
What?
Well, a list, a proper list. You know, like just a. I assume they mean
like a document in a list.
Yes, that's what I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
Nor have I. We can certainly let's because we've still got a lot of questions, so we'll come back if we have time.
Cool.
So, sorry came in late, but the features preview document, is that just native SharePoint, or do you need to add another web part? No, that's if you have on-premise SharePoint, you need a WAC server set up that will do it, and if it's 365, then yes. And licensing has changed as well now, so if you've got on-premise SharePoint, you can install a WAC server in read-only mode if you don't want to buy any more licenses, or edit mode if you obviously do.
Yeah, WAC is the Office Web Apps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Site email. Does the Exchange Control Panel allow incoming rules to be applied? Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I would be amazed if it did, but
yeah, I have no idea actually.
Only Jasper can answer that question.
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I do quite a lot of Exchange as well, and I'll look into it and see if it can do so. I'll leave your question unanswered. But basically, does Exchange Control Panel allow incoming rules to be applied?
The side mailbox is hosted in Exchange, so maybe in the administration center you can, I don't know.
It'd be a good blog post. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
So I'll try my best to answer that. I've got nothing to do this weekend apart from watch the Grand Prix, so that's good. This has been a very valuable webinar. Thank you both for covering great content and answering questions from Daryl. So a pleasure.
It's really nice. Thank you.
But there's another question from Daryl. External sharing limits, specifically how many concurrent guest users can connect to the guest link? I guess that goes back to, it's 10,000 or 500, Daryl, but we're not absolutely sure. I.e., what load can it handle? Only time will tell, I would say. It's like a lot of things you find as you go through Microsoft products. A lot of the time, the actual figures are only ever released after the product's released, and when it's out in the wild in large stand-ups. So we're still waiting for that. Are there any enhancements in the existing reporting available in SharePoint 2010?
In analytics, you mean?
No, I don't know. If you want to just come back and explain a bit more, that would be great. Kabir. But another one, can I drag and drop emails into a list record?
I haven't tried this, to be honest.
Yeah, a custom list. We're not sure.
It's another blog post.
Well, you can do that one. I'll do the exchange when you do that one. Sorry. And I think that just about covers. There's someone sent a link about external sharing options for SharePoint Online. And that's about it, really. So, any other questions?
You can always send me, go to my blog, and I think the email address is up there, or you can always contact me through Twitter or LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's very friendly.
I have my moments.
Yeah.
For a Dutch guy, I'm pretty friendly. That's true.
Yeah.
Still pretty honest, but
yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just take over and finish off, and I would like to thank Jasper tremendously for. Let me just screen two. There you go. So thank Jasper tremendously for the session. I thought it was great, a really, really good session. And like I say, sometimes, it's very difficult when you're sitting in a room by yourself and talking to a monitor. But yeah. I think you handled that really, really well, Jasper. And from the comments people were posting, I think they all enjoyed it as well. So
it's great. Well, thanks for the opportunity. And
Daryl said, "Where's the clap button in GoToWebinar?"
Yeah,
that really needs adding, Daryl. If you have time, that would be great. But just for there you go, that'll do. That's good.
Thanks,
but just thank you very much again, Jasper. It's been awesome.
Thank you. No problem.
As I said, the recording I'll get up as quickly as I possibly can. And thanks everyone as well for the interaction, the questions, particularly Daryl. Absolutely awesome questions. But next webinar is April the 24th. It's around metadata. So double tag, manage metadata and taxonomies in SharePoint 2013 with Chris McNulty from Dell. And that is at the usual time, 7 p.m. British Summer Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully I'll see you there. The link's at the bottom. We'll get the recording up as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact myself or Jasper, Twitter, email, whatever, and we'll certainly try and answer your questions. So once again, Jasper, thank you very much, and thanks everyone.